Are you gonna introduce?
I'm ready.
You gonna introduce?
Yes.
What are you gonna do? Yeah.
Alright. Hey guys. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Prog Mondays. And today's video is going to be very similar to the video I did with my dad a few weeks back, I think. Desert Island Discs, or what albums would you take to a deserted island? If you haven't seen that already, put it up there and you can watch it. But today, as I mentioned on my community post yesterday or the day before, I have a very special guest. Here is the very special guest. Special guest, please introduce yourself.
Hello. I am the Prog Nerd's boyfriend. Pleased to meet you all. Hello.
You asked for it, and we are delivering.
Here it is. Here is the Prog Nerd's boyfriend.
Yes.
This is me. Hello. This is my first video on the channel. So.
Yeah, and we're gonna open with a banger. So yeah, should we just get into it? So there's 10 albums. So this time around it's gonna be 10 albums rather than 5, because the one video I did with my dad we had 5 each. So
she wanted to make it easier for me.
So basically. I wanted to make it easier by giving you 10 options rather than 5.
Yeah.
Initially it was gonna be 5, but just upped it to 10. Why not? So should we just get on with it? So I've got to split this into a couple of different parts because we've got vinyl here and CDs there. So we're gonna do the vinyl first because it's a sunny day and we don't want them to melt. So would you like to start? So
yes.
It's the first one. So this one is your favorite of the Radiohead discography,
Yes, it is. It is my favorite of the Radiohead's
studio albums.
Yeah. Out of all of them, I mean, I can't think of.
As someone personally who grew up with Radiohead, this was one that I kind of missed out on. I grew up on mainly like the Bends and OK Computer and bits of Pablo Honey.
Yeah,
but
so you grew up on the earlier stuff.
So I grew up on like the more kind of well-known stuff, I guess. Well, this is very well-known, but the more like kind of, you think of Radiohead, you think of OK Computer, you know?
Yeah. So
what makes this one your favorite of the Radiohead? Why would you take this one to an island and not something like OK Computer?
Well, OK Computer is, you know, a brilliant album, and I love it. And it's not that I don't like all the other ones, but this one.
Jesus, is that Bobby?
So, just where was I?
Why this one is your favorite?
Yeah. So, this is Radiohead. Kind of, they went experimental with Kid A. You know, more so than OK Computer. Their albums got more and more experimental, more and more electronic. But this one is experimental, is electronic, but it's more back to the roots of, you know, the basic instruments, bass, guitar, drums, that sort of thing. It kind of it brilliantly like blends both of them together. Just looking at the track list here, there's not one kind of weak track. I love every single one, and for me this is a 10 out of 10 album. So
this is Radiohead. What is this? 2007? 2006?
Something like that. Yeah.
2007?
Oh yeah, it was released for free, which I think is kind of cool.
Released for free? What do you mean by that?
Well, so In Rainbows was the album they released after their 6-album deal with EMI.
Yeah.
And so basically they were free after that. They didn't have anything to do. And so they just made an album and they just put it on their website and they had it as like pay as you want, pay as much as you want.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. This is Red Hot Chili Peppers, by the way. So this is actually quite a new one for me, but for you this is almost like, this is a childhood one for you, right? Yeah.
This is basically, this is a childhood favorite of mine.
Why would you take this one with you?
Okay.
Like, what's it got on it that would, you know, keep you busy for eternity?
Well, it's got a lot of music on it. It's over an hour of music. So when I was thinking what I want to take with me to a desert island, I thought long albums would be better because, you know, more music, more stuff, less to get bored with. But this album, it's a childhood favorite of mine. It's one that I'd just known for ages, childhood favorite band. Yeah, I love all the songs on it. You know, there isn't really
There's not a weak track for you? Or?
Yeah, I think that's a recurring theme throughout all of these albums. There aren't really any...
Well, you gotta like them all the way through.
Yeah, exactly.
The next one is, I'd say I'd like to credit myself on this one. I don't want to get up on my high horse, but I'm gonna do it for now. So we got Tool here. So this is probably one of my favorite bands ever. Underneath like Iron Maiden and Emerson, Lake and Palmer at this point. So this one is not my favorite, but it's your favorite of the Tools.
Yep.
My favorite is Lateralis. So what do you like about this one so much? Why would you take this one with you?
Yeah. So the reason I prefer this to Lateralis is it's more of a psychedelic-y sort of album, which is more my kind of style of music.
I think it blends moments of metal with psychedelia and prog.
Yeah. Also, I had to take something metal onto the island because that's a part of my music
I'm surprised
taste.
that you didn't actually put any Metallica in there.
Yeah. I suppose that they are a childhood band, but I suppose I've listened to them a lot.
This is like a new one for you, isn't it?
I mean, if I had 15, I'd probably put,
Ride the
Lightning or something, yeah. But anyway, this blends psychedelia and prog and metal and
everything.
It's, I mean, the lyrics are brilliant, the music is mwah. Just one great song after another.
In your words, it's a vibey album.
Yeah. Yeah. What she said. And basically, that's it.
So that's Tool's 2006 album, 10,000 Days. That's my dad's favourite as well. Next one here, this is more of a kind of recent musical release, I mean, last 10 years kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is Currents by Tame Impala, and this is, 2015, right?
Yeah.
So, I've mentioned this before in a couple of my videos. I really like Tame Impala because you got me into Tame Impala, and someone else got you into Tame Impala. It's like an endless stream of people that got us into Tame Impala, essentially. So this isn't even your favourite Tame Impala record, is it?
It is and it isn't. I mean, I think I prefer... I do love Lonerism quite a bit.
That's the one before that, isn't it?
That's the one, that's 2012. But this one I feel is a more consistent album, and it's got more of its own sound and style to it.
So would you say there's enough variation for an island trip?
Yeah, that's exactly why. Because all of these albums, I wanted it to be I wanted each album to be somewhat different. I picked a different band for each album. I was thinking of doing 2 Beatles, but I didn't in the end.
That will come later.
That will come later. So yeah, this is it's an electronic-y sort of...
It's very much like a mainstreamy kind of
80s nostalgia.
Yeah, but it's done well, I think.
But done very well, and the songwriting is...
The production. My
to
gosh.
make... Yeah.
The production's very good on this album. So if you're a bit of a production nut, this is one to check out.
Yeah, it's not exactly easy to make kind of a 80s poppy sound, but with, make it sound good, like genuinely with good songwriting. But this pulls it off. It's a kind of big part of my music taste, I suppose, this kind of style of thing. You right there?
Yeah.
Yeah. You checking the vinyl?
Yeah.
Alright. Anyway, good album.
This is Currents by Tame Impala. Okay, so everything else here is all CD, but that doesn't matter, I guess, because we're just talking about the albums themselves. So here's the first one. This is Queen's Sheer Heart Attack. I believe it's the third of the Queen studio albums.
Yep.
And why is this one your favourite over something like, A Night at the Opera or A Day at the Races or whatever?
Well,
News of the World.
Yeah.
What? Because this one, a lot of people seem to not talk about as much as those kind of albums.
Yeah.
So, what's your kind of emotional connection with this one, or connection with this one?
Well, I mean, I suppose it's not really as much of a childhood favourite as, say, Night at the Opera, because I got that as a kid. But this one it's just my favourite Queen album. I have no other way to put it. Every song on here has so much personality, and so much, I don't know, it just...
The actual album opener itself opens with a bang, really, doesn't it?
Opens with a banger, Brighton Rock. Got Killer Queen on it. You got the 3 songs that lead into each other. Lily of the Valley. It's got some heavy stuff on it. It's got Stone Cold Crazy, which is,
The Metallica do a cover of
yeah,
that.
Metallica did a cover of that. They kind of they were playing with thrash rock, thrash metal in the 70s, and then you got just it's so eclectic, this album. There's
So it's got a bit of everything on it.
a bit of everything, which is why
Would you say
it's so
got
perfect.
elements of like kind of proggy stuff in it at some point?
It's got a little bit, not as much as Queen 2
Yeah.
or Night at the Opera. This is just, this is more just a really good crop of songs.
Yeah.
Where each one is different.
And you can never
and
get tired of it.
yeah, every single song has so much personality and something else to bring to the table. And yeah, it's my favorite Queen album, and Queen's my favorite band, so of course I'm taking this.
So
Yeah.
yeah, this is Sheer Heart Attack. What year is this? 94?
Seven-
Sorry,
74.
74. not
74.
94.
Well, 1974.
1974. Sorry.
Next up,
Next up, a bit of a break from the kind of 70s stuff. So this is, what is this, 13 by Blur.
13 by Blur.
And I
Yeah.
know a lot of you guys probably know Blur for this kind of 90s Britpop group, things like Part Life and all that stuff, like sing-along-y kind of songs. But this is actually very different to that kind of mid-90s, early to mid-90s Britpop sound. This is late 90s, actually the end of the 90s, really.
Yeah.
So why do you like this one so much? So in comparison to like other Blur albums or songs?
So, when I was picking through albums that I'd want to take with me on a desert island, I kind of surprised myself with picking this one. I didn't think I'd pick something like this, but I just kind of thought about it for a bit, and it just made sense, because this is an album I got kind of recently, got into recently, in the past couple of years
when
or
you were
something.
in college, right?
Yeah. When I started getting into Blur a bit.
Yeah.
And I got this CD, and I've got it on my MP3. And I just listened to this album so much. And kind of in hindsight, I realized how much I listened to it and how much I loved this album. And there's not one song I don't like here. It all kind of fits together. And it's very different from the Blur most of us know, the Park Life Blur. Or even the song they're known for, the song 2.
Song 2, yeah.
Which is when they started getting into kind of alternative rock. It's when they started getting into it. But that song was that was basically a parody of grunge. So they were just kind of playing with it, having fun with it, But this, they, kind of went nuts on this one. This is fairly experimental.
Definitely different to what the people
Very
were
different to
used
Park
to.
Life. Very different to, what they were doing there. And
this is why Blur will forever be better than always.
yeah, can't lie.
So yeah, it's got some good tracks on it,
Got some really good tracks.
And that will keep you busy for
Yeah, it's also a
bit.
fairly long album. It's got 13 tracks on it.
Oh yeah, the album that's called 13.
And
Yeah.
it's got like 7
there's a
minute
bug on
songs in
me.
it. It was a bug.
Oh.
It's got a couple of 7-minute songs. A Battle, which that's when I fell in love with this album, because I listened to the first few 6 tracks until then. 7th is Battle, and that's such a weirdly psychedelic, such a groovy kind of track, and it just, that hooked me instantly to the album.
And yeah,
Every track on it, brilliant.
so that'll keep you busy for an eternity. So this is Blur 13. Next up, we're going back to more my kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that Blur record, but this one's got an emotional thing for me. I think I mentioned it before, but I was actually quite shocked to see you put this one in, because this is one of my all-time favorite albums. And I'd like to say that maybe I showed you this album over, maybe some of the tracks that you knew before, with my kind of
partly you. It was partly you and partly my dad, but yeah.
This is Genesis 1971's Nursery Crime. So this is a fantastic album, as you're aware. As all of you are aware, this is, you know, a classic album to listen to if you want to get into progressive rock. If you like progressive rock, you probably like this already. This album, what's your thing with this album? What's your connection with this album?
Oh, well, it's not as long-standing as my connection with, say, By the Way, which is a childhood favourite of mine. But this is, I think, the most recent album that I've listened to from this. This is...
it's great, you know. It's got plenty of long tracks for you.
Yeah, true. Although I knew a couple of the tracks before, specifically Musical Box, and Harold the Barrel. And those two are, I think my dad showed me those tracks. And so I knew of this album, and it was on my list, you know, it was on my listen to list. But I never got round to listening to it, the full thing, until basically you told me to.
Yeah, I forced you to.
So I'm giving half and half credit to you and my dad for that.
It's such a great album.
And so I listened to it, and I just loved every second of it, basically.
It's one of those that will, you know, it gets you from the beginning, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I listened to a lot of Marillion as a kid because of my mum. And so I suppose it makes sense that I'd kind of love this instantly because I love Marillion.
And they're
And
very
this is
heavily
basically
inspired.
the source material.
They're very heavily inspired by Genesis.
And it was basically a perfect album from the get-go. There's not one song I don't like. Every song is a highlight.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, that's why I just got to take it to the desert island. Also, I needed some more prog, you know? I needed a bit.
You need something that will keep your ears busy. So
this is... I felt like I needed to have some prog on the island, like other than Tool, other than metal prog.
And what's coming up later on as well.
Yeah.
So this is Genesis, Nursery Crime. Fantastic album, probably my favourite of the Genesis discography.
Yeah, go for it. Go for
this one.
Yeah.
So we're going back. We're going back to the '60s now. You know where this is going just by saying we're going to the '60s. Actually, it could be two things, but I think we know what it will be. My personal favourite of their discography. This is Abbey Road by the Beatles. What is this? 1969. 69. Yeah, this is a great album.
Their last album that they ever recorded. I know Let It Be came after.
But they recorded this one.
But
after.
This is Let It
That's
Be. They weren't even planning on releasing Let It Be actually. They were just going to scrap
They just let it be.
They just good one.
Anyway, going back to the video. So this is is this your favourite of the Beatles albums?
I suppose so.
I mean,
It's hard though because I love Revolver so much.
Yeah.
But this album feels so much more like a whole kind of well put together
and
album.
It's a long one as well. It's not it's not like white album length, but it is it's you know, it's long.
I was considering putting the white album on simply because it's a double album, meaning I'd have more music to listen to.
Yeah, I think a lot of people made that point in my last video. That, you should have put some more double albums in there, and I just thought,
exactly.
Yeah, you're right. You should have put something like, you know, The Wall or something.
And I was thinking of that because that's an album that I listened to a bunch when I first got it, and I didn't get tired of it. That was a re-listen over and over. But I don't think it can beat just one incredible whole album, especially the second side where basically all the tracks, well, you got two sets of tracks that kind of run into each other, and then Her Majesty at the end, but that's besides the point. You've got, you know, Come Together, which both my dad and I agreed is probably the coolest song ever to be recorded. I mean, the first line is from a Chuck Berry song. I mean, it's just, you can't.
Yeah.
If you know the story behind it and everything, it just oozes cool. It's the coolest song. And followed by arguably the greatest love song ever written, which is Something by George Harrison. Speaking of George Harrison, I was thinking of putting All Things Must Pass.
Well, you have even more music. That's a triple album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking of that, but I didn't in the
I
end.
love this album actually. This is one that my dad showed me as well, and I was actually not introduced to this album through Come Together or anything. I didn't know that song as well as I Want You She's So Heavy, because that is my favourite song on this album.
Yeah,
Probably my favourite
song.
Beatles song. And then you know, after that it's got obviously Here Comes the Sun, and Because, like that very short track, Because that's like one of the most amazing pieces of musical harmonizing I think I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And that's got an interesting story. Do you know the story of that?
What, Because?
Yeah.
No,
I think
actually
Yoko Ono was playing some sort of, I think, classical piece, and one of them was like, "Oh, rewind that." So it's actually a rewinded version.
Backwards version?
Yes.
Oh, that's sick. That's cool.
Yeah, but yeah, this is great, and this opens cool.
Yeah. Also, just another point. I know a lot of people have some sort of distaste for the song Octopus's Garden, and say that that's probably the weakest track.
A lot of people don't like the Ringo songs
No.
in the Beatles discography.
I just want to shout out that track. That is such a brilliant song. It's such a happy song, you know? It's just so happy.
Name. It's got a good name.
Octopus's Garden. It's kind of like wishful thinking. It's every time you listen to that song, you're like, damn, it would be nice just to shut off from it all. And I think that's my kind of takeaway from the song. There isn't a song I don't like here.
So there's plenty of songs to keep you going. You know, all different types of music on here, and yeah, this is.
And it was a very close shave between this and Revolver.
Yeah.
But
I know, we were on the phone actually discussing this when I actually pitched the idea of making this video to you. You were deciding whether or not you were going to put both or just one, so you picked this one.
Yeah.
Good choice. It's my favourite as well.
Thank you.
So now we've got two left. One of them is more modern and one of them is
Let's
older.
start with the modern one.
So we'll go to this one. So this is the second penultimate album. I've mentioned this on my channel before, and it's usually one that people get a bit surprised when they hear that I like this kind of stuff, because it is something that I don't believe in guilty pleasures personally. You know, I'm not ashamed of what I like, but I don't think this is any way guilty, because it's just so fantastic. This is Bloom by Beach House. I think it was you that introduced me to this group. Duo. Are they a duo or are they a group?
They are a duo. And I suppose they have someone who plays percussion.
They've got
live,
this is a female voice as well.
Yeah, that's a big reason why I picked this album, because I needed
some variation.
I needed a female singer somewhere within the mix, because I love the female voice.
This is great. This is like kind of atmospheric-y, dreamy pop music. It's very, very good.
Dream pop.
I think that is the name of the subgenre. You showed me this through I think a song that wasn't on this album, a Space Song, which is the famous one by them. And I kind of like digged a bit more into their discography, as probably you did. So why this one? What do you like about this particular album over, you know, Depression Cherry or something like that?
Well, every single song.
It's good, yeah.
That's what I like about this album. There's not a whole lot of variation when it comes to the sound of the album. It's a very sort of, when it comes to the sound, it's very samey. The songs obviously, there's different songs.
But it's well done.
But every single song is beautiful. A beautiful track, beautifully put together. There's no low point. There's no high point. It's a very consistently good.
Lost for words. It's
that
good. It's just a great album.
Beautiful album. Yeah. It's just beautiful music.
I recommend this to all of you guys out there. You know, if you want something to just kind of mellow out to and just kind of sit and have a quiet moment to yourself.
I feel like on a desert island I'd have a lot of quiet moments, and I feel like this would be a good album.
This would be like a good nighttime album.
Yeah, it would help me get to sleep. With, you know, the impending doom that I'd be on this island forever.
So this is Beach House Bloom 2012?
Something like that.
early 2010s.
Something, yeah.
And the very last album, this is one that I've actually been getting a lot into recently. I think that your shirt might have just given it away, that there could be...
Well, not this album.
Not the album, but the band. This is a great album. Is this your favourite of the discography?
Yes.
And
yes, it
that
is.
album is Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. Was this 1975? 75, yeah.
75.
So, why this one? You know, I know that you like a lot of the other Pink Floyd stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah, of course. I mean,
what's this one got that maybe something like Animals or, you know, The Wall or Metal or whatever? Because I know you were talking about Metal.
Yeah, I was tempted to put Metal, but
So what made you just decide, yeah, I'm going to pick Wish You Were Here?
Well, it is my favourite. So that's a big part of it. But as to why it's my favourite, well, I suppose the difference, what this album has that a lot of other Pink Floyd albums don't have, basically, well, all of them, is Shine On You Crazy Diamond.
Yeah, that is a good point.
That's what this album has. That's its selling point for me. It's
great, really.
a phenomenal piece of music. Parts 1 to 5 and
6
to 9. 69, dudes!
That's being cut out.
That's not being cut out.
That is being cut out.
So it's got Shine On You Crazy Diamond. And all the songs in between. Welcome to the Machine.
Have a Cigar.
Which is, well, Welcome to the Machine, which is...
That is great. That's my favourite. That's my favourite on the album.
Amazing song. And it was one of those songs that kind of floored me.
It was one of those songs I kept listening to over and over
again. It's a very
re-listenable
song. But
I got to the end and then went back to the beginning again.
No, when I first listened to it, it was kind of like a whoa moment. Like, I didn't know music.
You've never heard anything like it, really.
Make you feel like that. It was, well, obviously I did, but
not to that extent, maybe.
This was something special. And I suppose Have a Cigar grew on me. I think it's just such a cool jam, and it really it breaks up the kind of dreaminess and psychedelia of the.
It's kind of proggy at times as well. Maybe not necessarily that track, but Shine On You Crazy Diamond is definitely very proggy.
And something about Pink Floyd, and specifically kind of Roger Waters, I guess, is yes, it's very psychedelic and very dreamy, and you know, obviously it starts off with the do 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 down, which is just, you know,
shivers.
What's going on sort of music. But a lot of this, especially in stuff like Have a Cigar and in parts of Shine On You Crazy Diamond, specifically the last half, is so kind of funky and groovy, and just Roger Waters and his jams, you know, like a lot of The Wall is just him just coming up with really cool kind of jams that they kind of play on and make songs from. But that's something I love about Pink Floyd in general, that they mix the dreaminess with a really kind of cool sound.
Their own sound.
Yeah, their own sound.
It's a great album.
Just a great album. Also, Wish You Were Here.
A lot of you guys will be familiar with this one.
I
hope,
the song. And the song, Wish You Were Here. It's just such a kind of heartfelt, it's such a genuine song. And it's all, that's, because this is about Sid, obviously. And it's so genuine, this album. That's another thing. It's what music is made for. It's straight from the heart, brilliant music, all of it. And so I'm taking this one.
So this is Wish You
When
Were
I'm
Here.
stranded on a desert island alone.
And I think that concludes the video today. So that was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that as well. And Yoan's introduction to this greatness that is our channel. So
happy to be here.
Let's give him a nice warm welcome. So yeah, Wednesday's video is obviously going to be review. I'm yet to decide what to review, but that will come tomorrow, and I'll let you guys know. And that's it. So we'll definitely have you on more segments on my channel. I mean, we have like a little series thing that we've come up with. I'll keep that a little bit more of a secret for now. It's not really a secret now, but I haven't told you what it is.
So it is a secret. Open secret.
It's an open secret, See you guys on Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Bye.